business to go to another level. You must try to learn and hear something new. So make the change today. So don't procrastinate and see your business grow and change. So check out Drastic Results, yeah, with Tony Harris Taylor. Tony Harris Taylor. Drastic Results, oh yeah, with Tony Harris Taylor. Yeah, yeah.
Welcome to Drastic Franchise Connectors with Tony Harris Taylor. Yes, that is a new name for this show. This show for this season is going to be all about being drastic as franchise professionals and entrepreneurs. The name of the show is Drastic Franchise Connectors. And that came about because I'm doing some drastic things in franchising. So let me break it down for you. So mid-year 2024, June 2024, I go to my 10th franchise conference. Consistently, when I go to these franchise conferences, I'm either one of a handful, literally handful of brown people in the room, and sometimes the only brown woman. And in my mind, for the last 10 events, I'm like, what is happening here? So there was a women in franchising event prior to the main conference, and there's about 50 people there, and there were 3 women franchisors on a panel. And one of the women said, I'm so proud of where women have come in franchising. When I first entered the room 30 years ago, you could count on one hand how many women were in the room. So I raised my little hand. It was an Ask Me Anything panel. I raised my little hand and I was like, so look at this room. I'm the only person of color in this room in Atlanta. What do we do to make this room look like the rest of America? She said, well, if you can't get a seat at the table, then you create your own table. That was the permission I needed, air quotes, to go forward with something that had already been in my head and in my heart. And that, at that moment, the Multicultural Franchise Connectors was born. Now, it was just in my head. The one thing I know for sure is if you want to be successful at anything, you must tell people about it. I've read a book called Who Not How. I didn't know how Multicultural Franchise Connectors was going to get out of my head into the world, but I just started telling people the exact story I just mentioned to you. And so many people have been like, I'm in. And all of a sudden, I have a full board, diverse board of a combination of entrepreneurs with franchise professionals, all coming together to create an amazing opportunity for people who have entrepreneur expectations, entrepreneur dreams to come into franchising. Today, my guest is the epitome of what I just described. They are Latina women who took the drastic step to become franchisors. And they're doing it their way. And I just love them so much. So we're going to take a quick break and I'm going to come back with the sisters of season 2 Consign. And you're going to hear their story of how they took their little old idea and are beating the odds and launched a franchise. And you're going to be amazed. You're going to be like, there's a franchise for that? But they are beautiful souls, and you'll be able to see why they're so successful. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with my guests, Monica and Erika of Season 2, Consign.
Hello, hello.
Hi there, ladies. Thank you so much for saying yes to being my first guest of Season 1, no pun intended. Actually, it's not Season 1. This is my third season, Season 3 of my doing a video cast. So in your own words, why don't you introduce yourselves?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Erika Schrieber. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Season 2 Consign and Season 2 Franchising, which is the franchising concept of Season 2. And we are a social commerce platform specializing in the resale of pre-owned luxury goods from brands like Chanel, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Fendi, Prada, all the good stuff.
All of what Erika said, but I am the older sister and co-founder and COO of both Season 2 Consign and Season 2 Franchising. And again, all of what Erika just said, but we also specialize in live shopping experiences right on our website. So we are a very tech-driven company and very non-traditional when it comes to the resale market, retail, and franchising in general.
Yeah.
So I love what you all do, and I want to know, like, how did you go from having let's go all the way back to the beginning, starting a business? How did you know you wanted to do consignment? And then we'll segue over to how that became a franchise.
Yeah, so I'm going to let Erika start because this was her idea in the middle of COVID lockdown.
Yes.
So you go ahead, Erika.
Yeah. So it's interesting. When I graduated from university, it was 2009. And if anyone remembers 2009, it was a really hard economy and there were no jobs available, especially for people who had just graduated from college. And so I found a job at a local consignment boutique running their social media. And really at the time, social media was just Facebook. And we were just taking pictures of the products inside this local consignment store, and we were putting them up in Facebook albums, if anyone remembers making a Facebook album. And then from there, I was actually with that same company for over a decade. And I was able to help her grow locally to 3 locations. But really what I found year over year was that I really felt like we could do it bigger, better, faster, more efficient, high profitability. I think that was critical. And so one day I went to the owner of that business, my boss for over a decade. And I said, which was a big drastic measure that I took in my life, I said, I want to franchise your concept. And she said, no. And at the moment I was devastated. I was having my second child and I felt like, wow, I was so devastated. How could she not trust me to kind of take this to the next level? And frankly, it was a blessing in disguise, because that same week I went to my sister and I said, I can't do this alone. You are the administrative, the legal, the financial brain. I can do the other stuff. Like, let's create this concept. of consignment where we are moving units, moving products quickly, effectively, efficiently, reaching our audience in a really, essentially in a way that's modern, that's today, right? We're not waiting for someone to walk by the door. We're meeting them where they are, which is online.
Yeah. And I did at the time that she came to me, we were all on lockdown. And so I like to say that I'm a better mother because I work outside the home. It brings me joy. And so being locked inside the home and having to be the teacher of my children, I was going insane, to be honest with you. And she brought me this idea and I was like, first of all, I think you're outside your mind. We don't even know if we're allowed to go outside at this point. That's just kind of where everyone was. And then she broke me and I said, let's do it. Fine. Let's take a drastic step because what else are we going to do? Everything just seemed so uncertain at that time. And we did it. We ran with it.
Yep.
And that was we launched in August of 2020.
Did you know anything about the franchising industry at all when you?
Yes. So I had an exit from being a franchisee just before COVID. I was a franchisee of a brain balance center. And so I had the other side of the experience where I know I can empathize and relate to our franchisees in our system because I was a franchisee.
So Erika, you kind of played off of what you already knew that Monica's experience, and that's why you took it to the consignment lady. I'm just curious, where is she now and what she thinks?
I think I have no idea what she thinks. I hope she's super proud of what we've created.
I think she would.
She's absolutely a part of certainly of my journey and of my story and taught me a lot. And so I think she's probably proud of what we're doing.
Yay, that's great. That's great. So did you know it was unusual for women to franchise? And then Hispanic women as well?
Well, we know as Hispanic women, Latina women, that very often we're going to be one of the only ones in the room.
I think we grew used to that, to be honest.
Yeah. So the Hispanic side for us, we knew that part. In terms of being the only women in the room, I was surprised, even though we launched our business and our concept in 2020, but we didn't start franchising until 2 years later. It was really important to us to make sure that we had proof of concept. Monica, as our COO, was, head in the computer, really strategizing our ops manual, optimizing all of our processes. And so we really spent that time optimizing our entire business so that when we went to market, we decided to franchise, we were ready to do so and really give our franchisees a system that would work for them and that they could scale. So that was the first thing.
Not to interrupt you, but I do think that there is a level of self-awareness that we have where we know that in the resale industry, we upset a lot of people when we launched season 2 Consign. And it was because no one spoke like us, no one dressed like us, no one looked like us, no one created relatable and engaging content. At the time, luxury resale still had this energy of, this is a Chanel bag, it's under retail, you're lucky that I'm giving it to you, so buy it. Instead of, hey, let's build a relationship. Yeah. Let's be like digital BFFs and I'm going to provide some great eye candy for you. And if you like it, cool. And if not, that's okay. Maybe we'll have something else for you.
Yeah. And I think to add to that, I think without even really doing it on purpose, I think, being women and being Latin women, it is in our nature to create community. And so that's really what we brought to the table in terms of our brand itself. And then when it came to franchising for us, it felt like it was the right path because we're in the luxury space. It's absolutely critical to have people in the seats that are closest to your customers, be people with skin in the game and people who care. So, and I think that's true for many franchise systems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to be able to build that community, I think that came naturally to us, both on the brand side, the consumer facing side of our brand, but also within franchising and our franchise family.
How many franchisees do y'all have?
Currently, we have 8 open and operating, 1 launching at the end of next month
In Chicago?
in North Chicago. And we have a couple signing in the coming months.
Yeah, really excited.
So we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, you know, I always ask the question about drastic steps, and you guys have already answered that. I want to know who's a good franchisee for you, because we want to help you grow, and we don't have anybody in Houston. It's a prime market.
It sure is. We would
Houston sure
love to be
is.
in Houston.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to learn more about how you might become a season 2 Consign franchisee. Let's go.
Are you a franchisor grappling with how to stimulate your franchisees' growth and revenue? Are the phrases, "I'm not comfortable networking," "I'm an introvert"? Enter Tony Harris Taylor, your answer to these challenges. With her expert guidance and program, you can empower your franchisees to conquer networking and community outreach. Tony's program is designed to equip your franchisees with the skills and confidence to show up to the right events with the right people. It goes beyond making connections. It's about nurturing and leveraging these relationships. It's about following up, collaborating, and generating leads and referrals to maximize conversions. And ultimately, increased revenue for your franchisees and for you, the franchisor. Are you ready to unlock this potential? Reach out to us at 832-479-2088. Let's embark on this journey of growth and success together.
I just love my commercials. I be dancing.
I was going to say, you have the best music on your
Fabulous.
commercials.
So, okay. So I announced at the beginning that I'm launching the Multicultural Franchise Connectors. Again, connecting multicultural communities to the world of franchising. In that, I knew that people would say to me, well, Tony, yeah, I want a franchise. Can you help me? And so I took another drastic step. Sometimes I get on my own nerves. Just sit down somewhere, girl.
No, never sit down.
No.
Always stay standing.
Show
All
us.
right. So I get on my own nerves and I'm like, let's go. And I'm launching also simultaneously Drastic Franchise Matchmakers, which is to help connect franchisors to potential franchisees. Tell me, who's a potential franchisee for you?
I think the very first thing we hone in on in initial conversations are, do they align with our core values? What are they saying? What are they doing? More so, because words are nice, but actions speak louder. And so our core values from the beginning in 2020 of season 2 were focus on people, commitment to integrity, and a spirit of excellence. And those have been our core values that just run through our veins from the very beginning, and now are our core values in our franchise system. So those 3 core values plus grit. Grit is so necessary in business ownership. I think far too many times people look at franchising and they think, I'm going to get a business in a box and it's just going to work, and I'm not going to ever have to worry about a single thing And I know because I was a franchisee. And so I know that thought process personally. And so I think grit is something that you need to have as a business owner, whether you're part of a franchise system or not, because it is a roller coaster. And it is a really fun and can be a very fruitful roller coaster, but you have to be able to stick to what your why. During the tough times.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will quote Monica. She's too humble to say it herself, but something that comes up time and time again, especially we're actually going into Business Accelerator Week with a new franchisee and her team next week. And something that comes up for Monica a lot is if you want the system to work, you have to work the system.
Correct.
So it goes both ways. HQ is here. We call our home office is HQ. We're here to support. We protect the brand for our franchisees. We provide all the tools. And so we're really looking for franchisees who want to be a part of an emerging brand, right? They have this entrepreneurial spirit about them. But we're also, like Monica said, running them through these sort of core values. And it does have to be a mutual fit, right? We want to love our franchise owners as much as they love the brand and the business.
Oh, that's so key. Love is something that we don't talk enough about, right? What's my sign say?
Do what you love.
And if you don't love it, don't do it. Because the other thing I teach my clients, and I'm teaching franchisees now, is love has to be your marketing strategy.
Yeah.
You have to have a love for the people you haven't even met yet.
Yes.
Get out there to be able to share who you are and what you do without expectation. And then what happens? Expectations are met when you show up and be an attractive person. And a lot of times I think what makes me attractive is not the hair, not the glasses, not the earrings, but really it's the energy, because I show up in love.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as franchisors, no matter what industry you're in, you are in franchising, and franchising is a people business. Correct. And you really, as a franchisor, have to care genuinely about your franchisees and their success, and really invest all that you can into them.
Yeah, it's that old adage. And Tony, I know this probably, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it aligns with a lot of what, your content that you put out there, but you get what you give, right? And, Monica and I, we are Latin women, and in many rooms, we've talked about this already, we are one of very few. But the truth is that we walk into every room full of joy and energy and love, and we project that. And so I believe that we've been given what we've given, right? It goes both ways.
It goes both ways. So let's just talk about how we got here, because that leads into my next question, and that's networking, right? So I showed up in Philly at Springboard, which was a life-changing event for me. That's how I met Alicia and Joan with FranServe. I think that's where you met them as well. And now we're all under the FranServe umbrella. But I remember distinctively walking up to Monica, and I think we were at the bar, and I said, "Hello, love your glasses."
Yes.
And you looked at me and you were like, "I love your glasses and I know who you are. I see you all over LinkedIn." So the question is, how important is networking to growing a season 2 consign business?
Oh, it's vital. Vital. You have to be able to talk to people. What we like to say is, if you are a franchise owner of a season 2 in your territory, you are the handbag expert. And everyone in your community, when they think of Louis Vuitton, they should think of you immediately. When they think of Chanel, they should think of you immediately. And the only way that that's going to happen is if you put your face out there, give out business cards, and build genuine connection.
Yeah.
I think in luxury resale, there is a different level of trust that has to be established with clients. They're not just going to be like, oh, you seem nice. Let me hand you my $3,000 purse, you know?
Yeah.
So we have to build a very genuine relationship with our clients.
Yeah, absolutely. It is both a luxury product, because we have two sides of our business. It's a luxury experience on the consignment side, but it's also a luxury product that we sell. And so it is very important that our franchise owners walk the walk, talk the talk, and move in spaces where their customers are, right? You wouldn't walk into a Kia department to buy a Ferrari.
Correct.
Right? You're not there.
Correct.
Yeah.
I love that.
We also have a saying, even though it is luxury, season 2 has never, from the very beginning, has never been associated with being pretentious in any way. It has always been inclusive, not exclusive. That is just a major thing that when we launched, again, no one looked like us. No one sounded like us. We rattled the industry in a way when we launched, and we forced the industry to change, which I love that we were able to do that. But we want to make sure that people feel like they can build a connection with us, that we're approachable, that we're kind, that people are going to feel comfortable with everyone that owns a season 2 franchise.
Yeah. Well, one of the things, thank you ladies for hiring me to come and speak to your franchisees.
We all loved you.
Well, thank you for that. And I feel like we have more work to do. But one of the things we uncovered in that conversation is, you know, there are athletes, wives associations. There's athletes, NFL mothers association. That's where your target market is, right?
Yeah.
But you got to have the courage and be drastic to get into those spaces. So I got you ladies. I'm going to really look for someone who's a good fit for your Houston, for our Houston market. And let's go. Tell everybody how to get in touch with you.
Yeah, you can get in touch with us by emailing franchise@season2consign.com. And then you can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok, really any of your favorite social media platforms. We are at Season2Consign, and we love the number two, and we love connecting with our community. So join us.
I love everything y'all are doing. I want us all to win. And if we don't get anything else from this conversation, show up in love, y'all.
Yeah.
Show up in love. Everything else seems to fall in place. Thank you, ladies, for taking time out of your schedule to join me. And we will be right back with my final thoughts. That's right. You can go to showuptoblowup.com and pick up your book today, and then schedule a one-to-one with me. Let's talk franchising. Let's talk helping your franchisees to show up in confidence and get in a drastic mindset so they can grow their business, and by extension, your business. Franchisors will thrive. Wasn't that an amazing conversation? Those sisters are, besides being outwardly beautiful, you can just feel their heart for their business. And I'm just grateful that I showed up and they showed up in Philadelphia. And now we are fast friends and business associates. So if you don't get anything else from today's show, do what you love, show up in love, and the rest will take care of itself. This is Tony Harris Taylor saying, take a drastic step today for a fantastic tomorrow. And we'll see you next week at the Drastic Franchise Connectors show. Bye.
Best thing,